joining me now inside the Charles Schwab studio. Always a treat. The day of the week's not relevant. Tony Catalina of Gig'em 247. What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm hanging out, having fun. It's a Thursday chill kind of day.
Yeah, I'm all in. When you asked me to move some things around and you asked if I was available, I mean, you don't come in here as one of the highlights of my week, so I wasn't going to say no.
I pay him to say that. A simple question I've asked all day long. What got you hooked on college football? What was the it factor for you?
For somebody who grew up in the Northeast, where it's not,
You're supposed to be a hockey fan.
Right, hockey, baseball, but just the pageantry around college football in the South was just so captivating. And obviously, I'm very clear about my non-biased roots when it comes to Texas A&M football. But 2012, if you weren't captivated by like Johnny Manziel and everything that was going on there, you just didn't have a pulse for the sport, right? And so, for me, it just seeing college football and just I think most of it growing up was like BC, watching Matt Ryan or watching like Victor Cruz at UMass. Like those are the things that I saw. But then you see the grand scale of the SEC, and I very clearly said that this is the best conference in football. It's always been the best conference, and just being captivated by that. So long answer to tell you was seeing how they do it down here that really changed it. The pageantry, the passion, everything that they feel about it is just why I love the game.
For me, I got hooked because even before I got to A&M, I was a college football fan. Mm-hmm. My very first game as an Aggie, maybe an A&M/college football fan, and I don't care what else happened in the world. Because I grew up a football fan, pro, became a college football fan right before I got here, and then college football for life is the best explanation. But watching college football, and remember, I grew up before the world was open to everyone, before the internet was the whole world. And you watch college football, and I watched all of it. And you would see the Florida schools had just started with the fun and gun and the U and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And then you watch, for me, before there's the Pac-12 after dark, it was the Mountain West games, and they were the last game on Saturday, and we only got like 3 games a day. Yeah. We didn't have just 4 games alone at 6 o'clock. It didn't work like that, right? Mm-hmm. And the Mountain West games were the most fun, off-the-chain, insane. It was the greatest way to end a Saturday. San Diego State and BYU playing 56-52. And one team would run the ball 50 times, the other pass 50 times, and the diversity. And I just felt like I got to see the world through college football and the different cultures and the different experiences. And I don't know, it was something about it. It just felt it made me realize there was a whole world.
Yeah,
and the different ways that crowds and Penn State.
Sure,
that was your north part, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I'll tell you this. For me, I've had such a growing appreciation for those West Coast late night games because, peek behind the curtain, Saturdays is a work day for us, right? Saturdays, I'm at the stadium 3 hours early, and I leave 3-4 hours after the kickoff. So, when the game's over. So, by the time I get to actually consume college football as a fan, it's that midnight hour West Coast, like, it's 82-75 in the fourth quarter. Like, those are the games that I get to sit and just watch.
Pac-12 After Dark meant something to you.
That's it.
As a media member, Pac-12 After Dark was all you got to see sometimes.
That's it, right? You haven't, especially when it's, the primetime slot in the middle of the day. By the time you get home, it's midnight, and you're like, what did I miss? Oh, I missed a lot. And let's pop on this, like, Stanford game. It's just really fun.
When Mike Leach was at Washington State, you could watch Pac-12 After Dark was Washington State almost or beating someone.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
You give me Mike Leach football at like 1:30 in the morning, I'm in.
I'm in 100%. So, I've definitely grown to appreciate that far more than I probably ever thought I did.
Oh, okay. Good time. Sorry. I'm about to cry. I'm so happy right now. Let's talk some Aggie Baseball. They're going to begin play tomorrow night. Hoover SEC tournament. Some things that we do know. They're going to face Auburn, who they lost the series to, but other than all 3 games are pretty awesome games. Now I'm thinking back, they destroyed them in the second game. First game was 5-3, 6-5 was the final. A&M could have swept. A&M could have got swept. It was a great matchup.
Yeah, a little doubleheader there. I mean, that's a good team. When you talked about, that's a team that has as good a chance as anybody to go in there and win the conference tournament. So for me, it's a matchup, right? We got to talk to Earley yesterday. It's a chance to play postseason baseball, right? Like every game has a winner go home feel to it. Even though there is more to play for outside of this tournament, you can really kind of drum up that intensity of like, hey, we don't win this game if we don't execute, we're going home. That's it, and our trip will be a day long. And then so that is so valuable. Last year, they were fighting to even just make a resume booster, so every game felt like his intensity. This year, they get a little bit more breathing room. Feel pretty good about that. But no, Hoover is awesome. I went last year, not going this year. Really cool environment, really cool situation, and some really high-level baseball.
So for this Aggie baseball team, A double bye is the most brilliant thing in the history of mankind because all you have now in theory, is a 3-game weekend series.
That's it.
Nothing more. Where some teams are trying to win 5 games in 5 days, and it just the tournament. I think all the tournament formats are awful, but this plays out just a weekend series for Aggie Baseball. Go there, 3 games, 3 days. You don't have to do anything stupid. You don't have to shift your rotation. Just go play ball.
Yeah, and they put themselves in a position where because this series is more of like, icing on the cake than anything else, is the fact that they can still rest an arm like Aiden Sims. They can still try to get guys healthy and play different, scenarios and potentially throw Ethan Darden out there for like the 4th game out of 5 games in that first one on Friday. So it's interesting. It'll be fun. It's definitely good baseball.
So you were there yesterday. Michael Earley met with the media, and we're going to listen to him here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. He said Aiden Sims will not pitch, and I have the headline. You were there. You heard every word. So Michael Earley told the media that A, Aiden Sims will not pitch in Hoover. B, he expects him to pitch again this season, which is so ambiguous. That doesn't mean regional. No. When you say you pitch again this season, the College World Series in Omaha is 4 weeks from now. That is so non-definitive.
Sure. I can't put words in his mouth. He said what he said. You just read it directly.
Did anyone follow up?
It's just it wasn't because of the tone in which he said it. It made it seem like, without, like I said, putting words and making it seem like him sitting out this tournament was because they're calibrating risks more so as he needs more time off. Like, I think they said, hey, this is a great tournament. We can try to go win the SEC. We want to win every game we play. But we got a regional and super regional. We're hoping for Omaha. So I think they're just keeping him on ice. Not that it's like some long-term thing. I think they're just trying to be smart with the guy.
Again this season.
Yeah, I bet you if you get a chance to ask him again, you'd probably give you a more pointed answer there. That's just my take on somebody who was in the dugout with him when he said it.
Yeah, again, I've heard that phrase from other coaches, and it always means something else. It means,
well, to be fair,
the season lasts until Omaha's over.
Well, I mean, to be fair, look at the way that last year, Chase Laviolette, broken hand, all this guy's tournament's over. He played the next day. Right, and then you look at Boston Kellner, literally a broken face. This guy, how is he even listed as questionable? Then he ends up probable. Then he's a game time decision.
He goes full Bane.
And then didn't miss a game, right? And so Chris Akopian, the guy has had 4 injuries since he's been here, and he's missed minimal games. So as far as injuries go, he's been pretty open and honest and kind of lackadaisical in some of his answers, and they've always kind of bared out the play. I think he's very quick to shut down when it needs to be shut down. He leaves it open-ended for a reason.
Yeah, look, man, you don't need him Friday in a regional. He could throw Saturday. He could throw, in other words, every 24 hours needed. You could push him for some 24 hours as far as a regional goes. I don't even know if you'd need him in a regional. Would you want to risk it? But again, this season and again, look, coaches shouldn't talk about injuries. You don't give info out to the other one, but that statement, I'm like, wow. Because I've heard, I'm being clear here. I don't want people to start throwing stuff at me, but I've heard that phrase. I know what that phrase can mean. Sure. I'm not trying to go doomer on you. Just saying, I know what that phrase can mean.
Sure.
When a coach uses it. That's intentional.
Yeah.
Not, we're just trying to get him ready for next week. He didn't say that.
Sure. And you're absolutely 100% right. And if you read it like that, there's no blame to be thrown that way. I will say, there's been times where we've had conversations like, I don't know how Boston can play. And he plays, And so I've seen his face. I've seen what it looked like. I'm like, if this kid plays this weekend, I'll think he's Superman. So I guess he put his cape on.
Yeah, he did. That was incredible, by the way, by Kellner. I saw something. Wanted to share it with you. Baseball America did their top 10 2028 draft prospects. Who's number 1?
Nico Partita.
Bam. Absolute bam.
Kid's a stud. I mean, absolutely. It's been a shame that he, the end of his season has been robbed due to an injury, but he came in, he pinch hit on Saturday, got on base, and really kind of helped them push that run across. He's another one of those kids where if he doesn't play in Hoover, I wouldn't look at it as something so, nefarious, like he's going to be fine. But a talent, tremendous talent. This kid is a kid that, wire to wire, everyone said he's going to be so good. He's going to be really good. And then he got here and it's like, oh, man, isn't he so good? So it just, they never got it wrong. And I think everybody who kind of knew him nationally, somehow it's even grown bigger. This kid's the real deal. A guy play the field, he can hit for power, hit for, for contact. He does so many different things so well.
when it comes to something like Hoover, you're already okay. How many wins would it take in Hoover to have a no doubt national seed? 2, 3, and it's not willing to push that hard.
Yeah.
So if they rested anyone who's not 90% higher on health, I would have no dispute with that whatsoever.
Yeah. He said, you said you're going to play it later, but it's the second time he's mentioned that he's very clear that he believes they're an 8 seed, right? They believe they're in the top 8 national seed.
Said it last week, said it this week, never hesitated.
And he'll say it every time you ask him. So I think with that in mind, they're going to continue to try to win. Like, this is a competitive sport, competitive coach who wants to win every time they step on the diamond. But they're moving with the idea that their resume should be something they stand on, right? Their resume is something they believe is good enough. And so I don't think they have the same urgency that they had last year because they don't need to. They've earned it.
So do you think right now, if it started, they're at top 8 national seed?
I do.
I look at their RPI as 11. Georgia's behind them, which pushes them to 12 because Georgia's going to be a national seed.
Sure.
I know RPI is not the be-all, end-all, but expecting about a 4-spot adjustment strikes me as a lot. I look at their resume. If I just take the RPI off, you finish 3rd in the SEC. Kendall Rogers D1 had a great stat where A&M's tied for the lead in the country with the most series wins over number 1 projected seeds. So the resume is top 8, but RPI is usually a factor. Sure. And they're 11 pushed to 12 because of Georgia. Mm-hmm. That's a 4-spot adjustment to get to 8.
Yeah, and I guess, like, to your original question a couple of minutes ago, you'll win one game. Does that change the RPI, right? Like, you win a game.
From 11 to what? That 10?
Right, 10.
And then back
9?
to 11 because of Georgia.
Sure.
You are 1 spot back because Georgia's like 14.
What if they win and they get to a 9 spot, right? And
that's a no-brainer.
Right. If they're a 9 spot and then, like you said, get pushed down to 10 because of Georgia, now you're sitting there in a situation where you can make a move in a case for them to be, a top 8 seed if you got them in that 10, 11, 9 RPI spot. So maybe there is more to this next game than people will probably speak on, especially me. But I think the resume is there. 18-win SEC team. I feel like that is a pretty clear benchmark right there.
The only thing that's not is that RPI. Everything else is like an undisputable top 8 national seed, like undeniable.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with that. Like, you look at some of these metrics, right? They couldn't get in because they didn't hit blank last year. This year, they hit this, so it should be a box check, box check, box check. We'll find out just how much they value the RPI because, like you said, if they're in that teens, 11 to 12-ish area and they don't get in, they're going to have to start looking at it a little differently moving forward, how it's kind of all configured.
And they're an undeniable. I know trying to use the softball committee for the baseball committee is probably just a dumb idea, but they moved softball from 17 to 15, but that was 2 spots, not 4. To pair them up with Texas in a super, which did not happen. Texas got bumped to. There's fudging, but 4 strikes me as a lot. That's all.
It's fair. It's fair.
If they stick at 11, which Georgia will move in front, would be 12, and there's still days to go here because every day your RPI can move and you can be asleep.
Sure.
Other teams affected.
And there's a question to be said, just how much do these games in Hoover matter or how much should they matter?
Historically, not at all.
Right.
That's historically like almost 0.
Right. And so it's like, all right, you stand on the resume, and then if you think of that, because, obviously they got guys who look at the analytics, they look at the numbers, everyone's looking at every metric possible to formulate situations and answers to this point. Maybe that tells you why he's going to sit a Sims or he's going to sit a so-and-so, and, maybe they go light with him or, so-and-so. So it's if it doesn't mean much and historically it said like, hey, it's not worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze here, maybe that's how you're looking at how they handle Hoover.
And there's 2 other analytics they use besides RPI. There's like KRPI and a third one or something, but just the standard tradition. I know they're a national seed. It's just what will the committee say they know is always what ends up at the end. Yeah, I just don't think it's a 100% done deal, but their resume, come on, man, just do the right thing for once. That's all. I agree. And Earley saying that like unbashfully saying, hey, we're an 8 seed, like he has to say that, right? I believe that they are, but he's got to stand on the podium and bang the drum for his team. So that you take that with a grain of salt. One of the greatest quotes, and you weren't here for that, is Eric Hyman is the only one that can keep A&M off a national seed. And he was the AD at A&M at the time when A&M was an undeniable, inarguable, and did have everything needed, and somehow they didn't. And your own AD was the chair at the time. It was just unbelievable. Great moments in Aggie athletic sports history. We'll grab a quick timeout. We'll come back. Look, If you have a question for Tony Catalina of the Austin American Statesman, now is the time. Oh, what?
Gig 'em. 247.
Did I say Austin? Dang, I got it right till then.
We'll get
You're
it right.
even wearing the shirt for me, so all I got to do is look at you.
Advertisement.
Tony Catalina of 247 Sports. Gig 'em 247 Sports inside the Charles Schwab studio. Text him, would you? I mean, me, I'm here every day. Him, he just shows up when he feels like it. I just kind of like, oh, Tony, come on in. Charles Schwab, low cost, best of all. Low cost, best of all is the local part. And for me, why is that the best of all? Because with local, all they care about is you and I. They're not worried about, the model, the corp. No. They care about you and they care about me. And with Charles Schwab, you're like, no, that's New York, LA, Lou. No. We have Mark Sim right here in College Station. Eat here, sleep here, goes to the games too. And if you want to prove it, I don't have to prove anything. You can just check it out online at schwab.com/College Station. Mark Sim, our local Schwab agent representative dude. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC.
Your home for Aggie Baseball is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show. I'm the Louie Bellina part of the Louie Bellina Show. He's the Tony Catalina part of the Louie Bellina Show. On a Thursday, we're hanging out inside the Charles Schwab studio. And part of Tony Catalina is Bluebell ice cream. You know, he's from, I don't know, it's Guatemala, Pittsburgh. I don't know. He's just not from here. He's been here over a year now. And he just discovered Bluebell ice cream not that long ago. So each week he tries a new flavor and he shares the experience with us. Tony, what'd you try?
This week was chocolate chip cookie dough.
Really? A classic of all classics.
Yes. And it hit everything you're looking for. For me, obviously, the cookie pieces is what you want. The vanilla ice cream, the chocolate morsels in it. Like, it was a solid ice cream. Like, it's not quite as a staple as, say, the chocolate or the vanilla, but I feel like you got to have a chocolate chip cookie dough in your arsenal if you're an ice cream company, and you got to do it well. And of course, they did that well, right? I haven't found one that hasn't been good yet. So with that being said, it was solid. It didn't knock off the top spot, which is the Grimm's cake. Obviously, that's sitting there at 4.5. But I did nestle it in at number 3 at 4.1.
Ooh, which at this point your list is starting to grow. So to come in at number 3 is pretty high.
Yes, it actually tied with Brookie a la Mode, which is 4.1, which I had a lot of respect for. Cookies Two Step is still at 4.2, which is number 2. So that's 1 and 2. Really, really good. Would get it again. Like I said, anything that's like above a 3.5 would get it again. Something that's 4 or higher, I'm going out of my way to get it. And anything 4.5 is like a must buy.
So chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yeah.
Final verdict, wood.
4.1. Wood.
4.1 chocolate chip cookie dough. Now, when you get something like A, chocolate chip, but B, also cookie dough, and it's the same one.
Yeah.
It comes down to, some chocolate chips are so fake tasting, it's a turnoff.
Yeah.
And the cookie dough, especially, because, there's some cookie dough that's just so, it comes out that artificial flavor. It's all artificial, okay?
Sure.
But some of it doesn't have that overly fake flavor. Right. And that's the whole secret to it, right?
Absolutely.
And it can be texture that's rare, though. But it's how fake is the flavor.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because speaking about the why I didn't make it number 2, because I was fighting that. I was really going to put it at 4.3.
Ooh.
And what stopped me was the little chocolate morsels felt too uniform. Like, for me, I want almost like the chocolate to be like shaved or kind of like slivers of chocolate. In that way, because they were so perfectly like morsel chip like.
You'd want some of the chips to be chipped.
I want it to be chipped. I want it to be kind of slivered. I want it to after it hits your tongue, it can kind of melt.
Chocolate chip shrapnel.
Yeah, it was, and they were just almost like little balls or like little beads, and they tasted great. But if we're gonna be real about this and we're gonna do this all
it's your
summer,
review.
We got to do it right? So that's the only thing that held it back. But would absolutely do it again. It was a great bite of ice cream. But I don't know if I can say this, but what you made me try when I walked in was. It was life-changing. That was game-changing.
What Tony's talking about is here at Bryan Broadcasting, which the Zone, a member of the Bryan Broadcasting family, along with Candy 95, Peace 107, News Talk 1620, 94.5. We have 3 different Willie stations. We have Maverick. We have La Jefa. It's a family of radio stations. We're good friends with Bluebell. And when they have a new flavor hit the market, I don't know if it's day of, right before, day after. But they always bring up a not a pint, but what's the big tub called?
A gallon.
They bring up
gallon.
Okay,
Yeah.
they bring up a gallon or 3, and all of us up here get to try it. What did they bring today?
They had brought up raspberry. What is it?
Brownie?
No, it's raspberry chocolate
Fudge?
raspberry fudge.
Chocolate, raspberry fudge. And so Caleb's my guest producer today. Stuck with
Black raspberry fudge. That's
Black?
what black raspberry. See, it's that so new we don't even get the name down
Okay,
right.
black raspberry fudge. And I told Caleb that the second you walk through the door to take you straight to the kitchen to try it. Like, Caleb, did I not? So,
You did, confirmed.
Tony walks through the door. We throw him in the kitchen. And
I'll tell you this right now. This is not promo. This isn't like planned. This isn't like
Nope.
This is legitimate. Hey, Tony.
normally he shows up on Wednesday. If he would have showed up yesterday, he wouldn't have had it.
They brought me into the inners of the Brian Broadcasting, into the kitchen where everybody's like eating lunch and heating up their food, and said, "Here's a tub of ice cream. Go ahead and try some." And I tried it. It was. I'm gonna have to do a further examination. I'm gonna go buy it myself. I'm gonna go earn it, and I'm gonna come in with a real
Go
review.
earn it.
But this might beat Grum's cake. This might have beaten Grum's cake, and I'm being genuine, honest to God. I'm not gonna give it a number yet. I want to do it for real, and we can talk about it and really get into the nuances.
Hey, your call. But you're gonna earn it. I'm gonna earn my blue belt.
I'm not. You can't swindle me into a review here. I walked into this and I was blindsided with
The epicness.
a top 3 ice cream so far that I could probably conveniently say or confidently say this might have a chance to knock off Grum's cake, and that's just my honest
It
opinion.
was awesome, wasn't it?
I told you, I love raspberry and I love chocolate, and you put both of them together, it's like the best combination of flavor that I enjoy. You put it into an ice cream, now we're talking about something that like I'm going to have to hit the treadmill hard for.
It was an epic burst of flavor that, again, didn't have the overly fake or overly sweet. It was brilliant.
It was well done. I mean, it was... Listen, I'm going to give my real review. I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to indulge.
Just say earn. That's all you
I'm
get.
going to earn it.
I'm going to earn my ice cream. Tony Catalina. That's our quote of the day.
But doing this and walking in and knowing that, like, hey, there's a scoop of ice cream waiting for me, like, what more could I want? Louie, like, keep the money, keep the anything else. I'll take the ice cream scoop here anytime.
The fact that you're, I'll say this, earning it. That's all I need to know. You're a hardworking
I can't
man.
be persuaded. You know, if Bluebell walked in here right now with a polo on and said, "Here, Tony, want you to try this," I'm going to give him an honest review. And I'm going to be unjaded by the kindness and generosity, and I'm going to give an honest review.
I already know what the review is going to be like for this one, though.
Yeah,
this new flavor. And what was it again, Caleb? Caleb's the only one here that has it memorized. Black raspberry fudge.
Black raspberry fudge.
Or as I call it, epicness.
So new that we've butchered the name.
I do that with old names, too. I don't discriminate that way. So, Tony, what's your Twitter account?
Tony_Catalina.
Okay, easy enough. I saw, and then I read, A&M football, 3 Aggies who could have a bigger role than expected.
Yeah.
I love anything Aggie football. The whole world does.
Yeah.
Who are your 3 Aggies?
Man, so 3, I believe, let me just pull this up so I don't butcher it.
Like I do names.
Absolutely. Let's see. I want to get to...
I got it. I know who they are.
So give me the top one and I can remember.
Well, this is a name that's popped up recently because someone had someone else. So, tight end Richie Anderson.
Oh, yeah, 3. So that's a great one. And I'm glad, Tony, I wrote that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You just third person yourself.
No, so Richie Anderson, I mean, a lot of people coming in and he will have a role. But the kid from College Station, Houston Thomas. So for have him to come in, I think a lot of people just penciled him maybe as tight end 1 from UTSA. From what I saw in the spring, I think Richie Anderson was super impressive, right? I think he's a 3-down tight end, somebody in line who could really do a lot of good stuff in the run game. I think he's tough at the point of attack. He can be better statistically, and just when you look at the metrics, he can be stronger as a run blocker, and I think they're going to get him into that spot. But as a pass catcher, when he was just, out wide or in the slot or just detached, he looked impressive as a ball catcher, and so I think he's going to end up carving out a role. They did really well finding Nate Borgshaw last year. I don't know if the impact is going to be that, but I also don't know exactly where the tight end is going to fit in this offensive scheme with Holm and Wiggins. So I think he's somebody that's going to have a bigger role. I think he's going to I think it's his job to lose, and that's just my opinion, to be the tight end 1. They're probably going to get multiple. But if they're going to be in 3 wide receiver sets, you only get 1 tight end out there. So I think if you're going to find a guy you're telling me to pick now, it's going to be Richie Anderson for me.
Linebacker Jordan Lockhart.
Yeah, this is another one, a junior guy. Somebody who obviously, sadly, Damian Sanford's injured. We don't know what that is. I don't want to speculate how long that timeline's going to look like, if they're going to have him. If not, either way, that room is going to have to step up in a major way, right? There's going to be Noah McHale in the room. There's obviously going to be Ray Coney in the mix there. And so they got some veteran pieces, and Jordan Lockhart's another one. Third-year guy.
There's going to be opportunity. There's going to be opportunity at linebacker.
Yeah, and so the things that I've seen from Jordan Lockhart now, 2 years now. I'm going into my third season, so essentially the third spring since I've started covering this team. One of the hardest working dudes I've seen on the field. He takes every single rep like it's game reps, game speed. He works hard. I think it's just ingrained to him that he's just like one of the hardest fighting, toughest dudes on the team, period, the end. Now, I think he's going to have an opportunity. Beforehand, it was Scooby Williams. It was Torian York. There's Damian Sanford. So there was people in front of him that kind of limited his opportunities to make an impact. This year, a lot of changeover. There's some injuries like we talked about. He has a chance to really step in and solidify himself into, if he ain't a starter, he's in that too deep with a lot of responsibility moving forward.
KJ Edwards, running back.
This one's probably the most exciting of the three, because if you look at the way they've used running backs over the last few years, I believe I was looking at it this morning. There was 5 running backs that got at least 40 carries last year. Now, I don't know if they're going to have 5 guys, because there's 5 guys right now ready to get those carries. But if you're telling me unequivocally, undeniably, I think KJ Edwards is the top 3 running back on this team, right? If you say Ruben Owens is a starter, Jamari Morrow is number 2, KJ Edwards is right there. He was limited in the spring, a little banged up, so he didn't have a lot of opportunities. But from what I saw in spring and just my opportunity, kid is dynamic, super athletic, super fast, hits the hole quickly, hits the hole confidently. He just looks, they say things about guys who just look like they belong. They've been talking about it with Aaron Gregory in the spring. I believe that to be the case as well. But the way they use running backs and the way he's looked in spring, KJ Edwards is going to carve himself out a role on this team. And it's a lot to put that on a freshman to say, what is it going to look like? Jamari Morrow had 2 touchdowns last year, and he didn't have a ton of carries. I think KJ Edwards, I believe Morrow had about 40-ish carries last year. I could see Morrow having 80-ish. I could think that's the number. And you're talking about a true freshman running back. He's the future there. That's a kid that's going to be unbelievable.
The running back carry distribution is fascinating, because if Moss ever would have been healthy, those numbers would not have been real. He would have been the primary back.
I mean,
do they have a primary back, which would change the distribution? If not, you'll see a wide spread like that.
Sure.
So, and also in the new offensive philosophy, what is the total number of carries available? What's the pool?
And what's the strength of this new offensive line, right? Last year, they like moving forward. They like running the football, and they like pounding it down. Like, that's what they wanted to do. That was philosophical.
Even if they were not necessarily the best at it.
Right. And so if this year they've proved that they're better pass setters, and they got 3 wide receivers that are veterans that they really like, and now you got a veteran quarterback who was in the Heisman conversation deep into November. They believe they're a passing offense. Who knows what the running game will look like? But what I do know, and what I'm confident in saying, is that I think KJ Edwards is going to carve himself an important role in this offense.
Dude, thank you always. Glad you enjoyed the ice cream.
That was great.
The way you're talking about it, your mind is raspberry chocolate fudge. Your mind is blown.
You could not have put a combination of flavors and said, hey, Tony, try this, and that would have been better than what you just gave me.
Today was a great day. Be awesome, brother.
You as well.
When we return, it's that Michael Earley listening. He met with the media yesterday. Tony was there. I wasn't there, but we'll get to listen together to what he had to say in advance of SEC tournament play, which is tomorrow night, like 6:30 or something, when they take on Auburn in the quarterfinals. That's what's next here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
Visit zone1150.com and get the podcast for TexAgs Live, the Louie Bellina Show, and Chip Howard Sports Talk. The podcasts are also available anywhere and everywhere you get your favorite podcasts.
The Louie Bellina Show, it is still Thursday. Down the stretch we come. The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Built on faith, family, and community. CC Electric in about 60, 90 seconds. I got that listening. A&M baseball head coach Michael Earley met with the media. 979-693-1150. Text message number. Light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. Questions, comments, opinions. Now would be the time, because we're almost out of time. Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox is open, but let us listen in. A&M baseball head coach Michael Earley met with the media before the team got on the plane, went off to Hoover. Here's what he had to say. Actually, before technical difficulty, people make fun, man. Computers. Skynet will go active. They'll take us all at one point.
Coach, you've been to Hoover a few times, so what makes this event so special, and also what does it take to win there in the past and now in the single elimination format for a second time?
It's just a really cool event. It's really it's like a kind of mini version of Omaha. You get the police escort. They just do a really nice job of how they take care of the teams in the hotel to while you're at the field. Like, it's just it's very, very well put on. What it takes is really just, you usually got to have a picture of someone that hasn't had a big role in the team have one of those games, along with just playing it game by game and doing what you've done all season. You just got to play good baseball. But usually, now for us, a little different than scenarios I've been in before, just with second-year single elimination. Second-year single elimination. Last year we started off no buys. Now we got the double, so it's 3 games. So it is different for us and the teams that are already playing. But just gotta play good baseball.
And then it's 5 games now with ABS at college baseball. What have you seen? And then also, since we talked to you a few weeks ago, what have you guys learned and studied as far as what your strategy is going to look like?
Yeah, it's good. Like I said before, you gotta try it out. I think in order to do that, there's going to be mistakes. Someone was telling me about a play, I didn't see it, where the guy walked, where they challenged, the guy stole, and yeah, it is what it is, right? It's just, there's teams playing and competing to get in, and there's still these experiments going on. That's my kind of gripe on it, I guess, a little bit. But then again, there's no better time to do it, and I think it's what's coming. So I saw some. I think it's good for the guys to see too, see the ones where people get wrong and they're clearly in the zone. So knowing when to use them. So that strategy is not going to give our strategy completely, but something we'll talk about today and tomorrow when we get there. We just haven't been focused on it at all until, honestly, the last 24 hours.
What does the pitching outlook look like, pitching strategy look like so far to right now?
We're going to kind of wait and see who we match up against. Everyone's ready to go, though, and just kind of make sure we put guys in the right spot and spots there is a little bit of next weekend in mind and days to an extent. But, Friday or Saturday or Friday, there's not much. So I would say that's not a huge weight into it, but there's got to be a little bit of a thought process. But I think, it just depends. You could possibly see, and I've never seen before in my life, that one guy started 3 out of the last 4 games. I don't think that's out of the question. So, but just not there yet.
And that includes Aiden being ready?
No, he's not going to pitch this weekend. He's great. He looks great. He's going to pitch this season. Again, this season he's going to pitch in the postseason, but we're going to keep him. He's going to throw when he's there. He's going to throw on Thursday and Friday. So we're just going to probably, I would say, unless he just feels great, I would say we're going to lean way, way heavy towards that. We're just going to keep him for the regional.
So kind of what you've been saying a little bit, just what's the balance of you want to play to win, but you know there's more stuff ahead?
We're playing to win. Now, there is certain factors that are different in this tournament than what would be in a regional. Like, you might ask someone to stretch a little or come back earlier, do something you wouldn't normally ever do in a regional. Like, we're not going to do that in the SEC tournament. You know what I mean? So it's that's the biggest difference, right? Like, if a guy's super banged up or something, you're just not going to push it as far as you would if it's win or go home, because we got more games to play.
To that point, what has the last few days been like, and how beneficial has it been for you guys to get some rest?
It's been good. It was it's honestly similar to last week. We had that doubleheader against Auburn that got done on Friday? Or no, Saturday. Saturday, excuse me. And we got a couple days off, and yeah, it was good. We did the same exact thing this week as we did last week. We took Sunday off, pretty off Monday, but they were all in here anyway, doing light stuff on their own, make sure they played catch, pitchers through, because they can't take the days off. But yeah, it was good.
What's the biggest growth you've seen in Jorian's game from when he first stepped onto campus to now being able to have the season he did through SEC play?
I think just learning the game, and anywhere from base running to where to throw the ball in the outfield to working counts and knowing pitches, and he's done just a tremendous job. It's just been cool to see. he has the talent that's evident, but bigger than talent, he's got an elite mindset. He's very, very coachable, and he just wants it. Like, he wants it. He's not just a guy that is talented and this is enough. Like, he's always shooting for the next thing. And I think that's the biggest thing, is you don't know that too much when you recruit a guy, and he's kind of blown me away with those attributes.
Were you surprised at maybe how under the radar he was throughout the recruiting process until you guys had kind of found him?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anyone of that potential in our game and how it is now kind of sneak by like that. But he didn't play a lot of travel ball. So, yeah, like, extremely surprised, just because, I mean, how often have you heard that type of story in the last few years? Like, you don't. So, very surprised, but good surprise for us.
Just one more with him. Just, is there a player comp that you think of, like, when you look at him and that maybe reminds you of someone, whether you've coached or someone you've watched in the pros or anything?
I don't know. I'm not a big comp guy. I mean, him and Braden have a lot of similarities, except he's not a switch hitter. But as far as, like, when they hit the ball, how they hit the ball, a similar speed of runner, similar arm. So I would say, like, if you just want to keep it to, like, a guy here, I think, besides being a switch hitter, like, now you're seeing Braden as a junior, right? And Jordan's a freshman, so he's not there yet. But I think if you look at it, they actually have, they run about the same speed, similar arm. I would say Braden's more accurate, but he's 3 years older. But yeah, I think he could develop into that type of guy as long as his plate discipline continues to get better. So I have a bit of a cold sense on that.
How much did his time at the Bombers kind of help y'all understand what he had being in the area over the summer?
Our biggest thing with that was just, like, he hadn't played a lot of baseball, and we just wanted him to play baseball. We talked a little bit, but we were not coaching him during that time, and just get him out there, get him at bats. So yeah, I think it helped a lot, as much as. And once he committed to us too, we were, like, pushing him to do these different events and do stuff. We wanted him to play more, and it's a big reason why. Like, I think I said it before, but, like, when Gavin was rehabbing, we had all those rehab at bats. It was Jorian and Gavin the whole time, because we wanted the pitcher, whoever it was, to have a left-handed hitter, and we wanted Jorian. We just thought, and like an at bat's like an investment, right? As many as you can get in, and we just kind of, that was the plan all along, and he's got to execute and do well and continue to get better, and he has.
Does he project to maybe move to center field next year at all? Have y'all even thought about that?
I'm not even thinking about that.
Okay. Sorry.
A&M baseball head coach Michael Earley met with the media yesterday before the team went off to Hoover, and a preview of the tournament, preview of his team. You get it. Just a listen and getting you ready for tomorrow night. Okay. It's the second game of the day. The games are scheduled kind of 3 hours apart. Well, college baseball is 5 hours long, and then at the tournament, they're 45 minutes apart. So Aggie Baseball, I'm just going to say tomorrow evening when they take on Auburn, and you will hear the game tomorrow evening here on the Zone, 1150 AM, 93.7 FM. You also can listen on the Zone app, radioaggieland.com, and you can tell Alexa, play Zone 1150. So Aggie Baseball on the Zone all season, and now all post-season long. I always say this, but I hope you enjoyed the listening. Head coach Michael Earley. Now, I'm going to grab a quick timeout, come back, and the way we're going to end things is kind of the way we begin things, but college football, 100 days. We made it. 100. Look, in the summer, there's enough distractions. A lot of people said, like, June and July are the darkest days. Look, you start thinking about vacation. Go to the movies. Take your family. Go to barbecue joints. Find breweries you've never been to. If you can't distract yourself in the summer, I can. So we have made it for me to this point. And we still got Aggie Baseball in the postseason to come. We're home free. We did it. We did it. This is the Louie Bellina Show. I'll stop screaming. My apologies. It is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Yeah, I am. On a Thursday on the Zone.
You can hear Aggie Baseball online at radioaggieland.com. Radioaggieland.com.
It has been a great day, if I may say so myself, and it is myself saying so. It's been a great day on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. We had Tony Catalina of the Austin American Statesman We had our listen in to the top 10 running backs for 2026. Greg McElroy, always college football podcast. And it all kicked off with our monthly beer recommendations from Alan Moore to Brigadoon Brewery on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you're ever looking for some forestry, mulching, pond construction, metal buildings, custom metal buildings from the ground up, check out d4landservices.com. If you want to check out everything they do, like fixing up your land, clearing your land excavation, go to d4landservices.com. Always say, don't fixate on what did not happen as opposed to, oh, that was awesome. That is what happened. The Louie Bellina Show. We've been celebrating 100 days till the college football season kicks off. That's how we're going to finish. CBS Sports, top Heisman Trophy contenders. They did about 15, and you can break it up into tiers if you want to. Marcel Reed is one of their top Heisman Trophy contenders. I would say if you wanted a top 5 list, CJ Carr, Arch Manning, Trinidad Chambliss. That's your top 3, 4. Who else? How do you fill out that list? It usually ends up being someone recently, generally speaking, not on your top 5 to start the year. Look at the second 5 is like better Vegas money probably. Yes, if LSU makes the playoff, Sam Levitt will get a New York invite. Pretty sure of that one. If A&M ends up with a bye, Marcel Reed will end up with a New York invite. That's kind of the way to look at it. Dante Moore should be in the top 5, and he'll be a preseason top 5. And why is his name getting lost so often? I couldn't tell you. But Marcel Reed made the CBS Sports Heisman Trophy contenders list. National championship contenders. According to CBS Sports, again, they're 100. There's just 100 things, 100 items. Yeah, A&M's on tier 1. They went tier 1, tier 2. And A&M's on the tier 1 list. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas. And they use Vegas betting odds. FanDuel. My apologies. FanDuel Sportsbook. Best odds of anyone's Ohio State, basically 5.5 to 1. The Hunchback is 7 to 1. Texas 7.5 to 1. Texas A&M, if you were betting at FanDuel, is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth best betting odds, 19 to 1. There's nothing new in the why part. We know it all, and it's something I talked about this week. Mike Elko quote from them: the Mike Elko era seems to be defined by making less noise than his SEC counterparts or previous Aggie coaches while delivering the results fans have been yearning for since moving to the SEC. Second sentence, quote, Texas A&M's path back to the playoff is treacherous. Ooh, good word. I love that word, treacherous. I'll use it the rest of the day. But with Marcel Reed back and plenty of talent on the roster, there's no secret as to the recipe for success. No hard work and responsibility. Just do what Elko asked. That's the recipe. So A&M, 5th best betting odds at FanDuel Sportsbook. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is like 3 pages. Oklahoma, USC, Michigan, Tennessee, Florida, Missouri. There's more. Washington, Auburn are on that list. I said we're going to finish the day the way we started it. College football, top 100. It was just broke like yesterday, but Ed O back at LSU. Rip off a shirt, slam a Red Bull, mumble out something, say go Tigers. It's brilliant. It's so LSU though. Will Wade is back. The way they got Lane Kiffin. Now Ed O's back too. What was it? The collection of evil coaches. It was a tweet earlier in the day. And my memory don't work like that. I can't remember that far back, but the collection of evil coaches. Yes, that's what LSU is doing. They are definitely, I don't know of anyone that I've ever met in my life that goes, yeah, I love LSU or LSU is so huggable. I mean, that's just not in their DNA, right? But this is like going out of your way because Texas, the university of, some people call them the Longhorns, have always been easily the most hated program, athletics. I'm going to be very specific here, in all of college athletics, in the history of. They've easily been the most hated. The people that hate them cross time zones, conferences. But LSU said, hold my crawfish, hold my gumbo. They really are going out of their way to steal the title here. And I'm going to say I'm entertained by this, man. I'm going from hate and disgust and morality to this is high-level entertainment. Lane Kiffin is stepping in it left and right. He left in the most scumbaggery way I think you can. And now he's got a death blood vendetta against Ole Miss. I mean, you're picking on the smallest kid in the class, man. And now they bring back Ed O with the wonderful special, officially, and like I said, I want a copy of the business card, special assistance to recruiting and defense for the Tigers. College football, it's 100 days, but it still can't be soon enough. And boy, did we make it. I saw another 100, right? 10 must-see games. A&M in Texas, number 8 on the list. Horse pucky garbage. It's number 1 on the list, and you know it. Don't treat me like that. I got to go. I'm back tomorrow. Joe Sheehan newsletter on the D4 Land Services hotline and Bryce Jones, barbecue pit master inside the Charles Schwab studio. That's Friday. Go be amazing. I hope you had half as much fun as I did. I'm out.